is my body. I can do what I want with it.
I probably know what's going to kill me if I keep going.
I'll stop when I want to stop, not because the man tells me to stop. That's the way it goes.
From an artistic point of view, cigarette smoke is stunning, you know, when you capture it with a camera.
I used to smoke probably 3 or 4 in 10 minutes.
Governments want people to quit.
The government fully fucking know that this isn't going to stop people smoking.
It still just sticks you by for money.
Lives, I'm out to enjoy my life, and I enjoy smoking.
Even if my English is not so good when I smoke, my English becomes even better, you know?
What did I quit smoking for? I like smoking. I'm no quitter.
Some people like it, some people don't.
It's their choice.
It's a choice thing. It's all about personal choice.
Personal choice.
It's their problem now, not mine.
I used to think it was cool.
It's also a very social thing. I mean, I met a lot of cool people in the smokers area at bars.
I think there's a variety of reasons why people take up smoking. They might be stressed, they might do it as a fitting in thing.
I don't like doing things just for the sake of fitting in, but initially that's what it was, and then after a while I just found that I found it really appealing.
You know, in every group of friends, there's always a group that smokes and there's always a group that doesn't. The group that smokes, I don't know, seem to be the ones I always want to be around, but you know, they're the more fun ones.
And you know, it's like relationships, you know, you need it. Every half an hour you need a kiss, you need a hug. Same way you need a cigarette, man.
I like the fact that it gives me 5 minutes out.
10 minutes to go, boys. Ready for smoke? We'd run out there and yeah.
When you combine the addictive personality of like nicotine and tobacco in general with an oral fixation.
I think it's the habit thing now why I can't give up.
The act of having a cigarette, kind of a deadly combination of something that you need to repeat over and over again.
You're always the guy who smokes in the wind, with the rain. Everybody says, ha ha ha, you're a smoker. But you feel good, man.
Government mediation kind of frustrates me about that, the way they're trying to phase it out just because it's, you know, slightly unhealthy, and it's like, well,
Smoking kills 15,000 Australians a year.
I don't agree with how they've approached the anti-smoking campaign. I mean, going from just the classic writing into more of a graphic picture, I don't see how that's going to deter anyone.
In terms of the tobacco industry, they rely on being able to recruit new smokers. And how they did that in the past, because tobacco advertising has been banned in Australia for more than 20 years, is if they were trying to get women, you know, the packs might be a little bit slimmer, they might have light colours. We know that smokers have a habit of interpreting cigarette packets which are lighter in colour as less harmful.
Something like, they did a survey on like colours that people find the least appealing. Apparently that cropped up as the most unappealing colour. And frankly, like, say for example, if my cigarettes came in a packet that were hot pink, I'd probably be less inclined to want to smoke them.
There's the problem with the overdoing the message and people just ignoring it for that reason.
There used to be this ad campaign of this girl sitting on a couch and she'd suck in a cigarette, like the smoke from a cigarette, and it'd follow her down, and all that made me do was want to have a cigarette. It's just kind of crazy. The only ones that actually work are kind of those, you know, I'm 40 now and I've got lung cancer and here are my 3 kids and, you know, this is the choices I made, and it's kind of, that's the only real way I think it can affect you.
We were so excited when plain packaging was upheld in the High Court and has since been implemented. That was our big goal for a number of years.
It makes no sense. It really doesn't, because I don't know a single smoker who has a packet and goes, wow, that image really turns me off smoking. If you're going to do it with this, do it with alcohol. Do it with saturated fats.
RTD, pre-packaged liquor, the same sort of thing should be done. Put a horrific car accident on there or someone that's beat it and battered up.
Every element of it, like down to the font, would have been tested.
Anybody who knows anything about that advertising campaign knows that these images are done with makeup. They're not medical images because it's not legal to release medical images of that nature.
They seem to not read it or take much notice of it because they've been bombarded with anti-smoking messages for so long.
Probably the most famous one was where they had a lung and they sliced it open and then they had like a jug full of tar and they poured it all through the lung, and it was just like, well, I know that that's makeup. I know that that's not a real lung.
That was 4 days after the...
That was 4 days after the operation.
Matthew says he started smoking 20 years ago. He's now 28 years old. In the last year he was diagnosed with cancer in his lip.
Not from smoking, but the doctor said smoking didn't help.
Even after his operation, Matthew still continues to smoke.
I should have had a picture of this on that packet. You seen that picture of the mouth cancer on the packet?
Yeah.
How many people have you seen with that sort of thing?
Yeah.
I know 4 people that have had this done, and that's real. I know it's real. I've seen it, and that doesn't look nowhere near what that does.
The government's kind of drawing a pretty thin line between facilitating the life that I want to live and forcing me to live a life that they want me to live. When we've been seeing the same warnings for years and plain packaging, just you're still asking for the same brand.
We live in such a protected society. I think that it's just a way to shut people up, to make it look like they're doing something. Of course the government don't want people to stop fucking smoking the taxes. I mean, let's take the raw product for God's sakes and how much it actually costs to put in the packet the rest. I mean, you're talking like 2/3 of the costs go to the government, so why would they want people to stop smoking?
Governments want people to quit. They don't want to be paying for the healthcare costs or seeing citizens die.
I would like to know the statistics on what percentage of people of cigarette sales are dropped. I don't believe the cigarette companies are that concerned about it, really. I mean, they're saving a fucking fortune on packaging. It's the same product. It's all being made offshore now, so, you know, made in Singapore, made in Singapore. I think it's a win-win situation for everyone except for the consumer that has to pay for it.
The cost of looking after people that are a burden on society, where they have to have money spent on them because they're smokers, I think it's selfish on their part.
You smoked since you're age of 9, didn't you say?
Mm-hmm.
What did the doctor say about you? What was the...
When I went for medical, I started work down the last job I'm at now. They said I had a lungs for 25-year-old and I'm fit. And now I'm 51. He said just because you smoke, it doesn't mean, you know, you're going downhill.
1 in 2 long-term smokers will die of a smoking-related illness.
You know, breathing air, you're born with your heart beating. You're not born with a cigarette in your mouth, so therefore it's something that you don't need. And maybe it's moderation.
You moderate it.
Because I've been doing it for so long. I think it's starting to get to me.
You take your health into your own hands and you go, well, I know this is bad for me. I know this isn't good for me, but I'm going to do it anyway because I enjoy doing it.
No, I don't get a hit from it. As I said, it's just a habit. A habit I can't break, unfortunately. But wish I could, but I can't.
Like my little sister, she's only 14 and she smokes. She's been smoking for a long time now, but she only started because me and Dad did it. There's nothing I can do about it. Again, like what I say, it's a personal choice.
I wouldn't encourage any of my family, if I was to have children, I wouldn't encourage them to do it. I wouldn't smoke around them. I don't smoke around my younger nieces and nephews because I don't want them, you know, young people look up to you. I don't want them looking up thinking, well, that's the thing that you do, because I know it's not good for me. But once again, I made that choice for myself. Everyone should be able to make that choice for themselves.
Every year when we ask smokers what helped you to quit, price and anti-smoking advertisements are always 1 and 2. They sort of toggle for first place.
Putting up the price of cigarettes would be the most effective. Most people can only afford so much, and when it comes to the crunch, they're obviously going to buy food ahead of cigarettes.
It doesn't really prevent you from smoking, it just makes general life harder. Like you've got less money for other things because you suddenly need to pay $20 for a pack of cigarettes, where there's, you know, 18 months ago you needed to pay 13, and 18 months before that you paid 10. So it just kind of makes everything else really hard to afford.
It's a full-bit habit and costs money. Yeah. The money you spend on smoking, you spend on something else. I try to give up, but people don't know how hard it is. Yeah. Especially for me. Oh, and my boy, Matthew. And
I think I have to now, but I did have that opinion before. Like, you know, I'm a smoker, I live with it now. But then I got sick and I thought, well, it has to go. I've got 2 young kids and I don't want them growing up without their dad.
What would you think if one of your kids started smoking? Would you...
Kick their ass. But again, like if they're old enough, it's a personal choice. It is. If you want to smoke, it's your lungs, your lips, you'll do what you want, but I will enforce it on them not to do it. Like, I'll show them that picture every day if I have to.
Plain packaging's working, because if you're bothered enough to go and get out Band-Aids, which seems ridiculous, but we've heard people doing it, or, you know, cover it up with the black market, if you're bothered enough to do that, A, you're still seeing the graphic health warnings, and B, it's still you know, clicking through in your mind and you're still bothered by it. So from our perspective, it's kind of a testament to the success of graphic health warnings.
No, it's a pointless exercise. But then again, I don't know if I can comment if it's pointless, because I have to say at the end of the day, if you could cut down on people smoking, well then that would be obviously ideal for society. But people should be allowed to make that decision on their own premise. Who knows? I might not live long enough to see what the repercussions of it are, because look, they're bad for you. No doubt they're bad for you.